There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want. Playing games, no. There's no denying what we want. There's no denying what we want.
Is absolute dynamite, and boom it goes!
And boom, the layout goes! Slusta and Decran are on the move. To Decran!
Welcome back to London Invite 2025 here at Grasshoppers Rugby Football Club. We have a North American showdown here for you folks. USA versus Canada, a World Games warm-up. You gotta love it, folks. Liam Grant alongside Ali Thomas. Ali, excited for this game?
So unbelievably excited. Love to see every time these teams match up. You always know it's going to be absolutely fierce and a joy to watch.
Yeah, the two juggernauts of Ultimate going back through the years. I think Canada the only other nation to win the World Games apart from USA, so it's going to be quite a battle on the field. Both teams just fresh off another game. USA went up against France. Don't know if we want spoilers in that one, but a good competitive game. USA talking their hands up for this one. You got to see that Canada matchup against the Tokay SuperTeam, Ali.
Yeah, that was a game of two halves for sure. Cavaliers, if you haven't seen it yet, I know the stream went down, so you might be catching up on that one. But spoilers incoming. Canada took half 7-4, and then Tokay managed to come back, an unbelievable comeback to win 11-8. So yeah, we'll see a very hungry Canada, I think, looking for a win on this pitch.
Yeah, I think the difference is Sarah Eklund arrived for the Tokay SuperTeam. That's what I heard. Word on the street is Eklund jumped off the plane and into the end zone. That was the turning point for them. And Tokay SuperTeam, a force to be reckoned with, but let's see who can get the win here. Both teams having their alternate players as well. World Games will have 14, so we'll have 20 players on the field now. Watching the likes of Podnar, Tim Sang warming up for Canada. They won't be in China unless there's a dropout or an injury. If you look at the USA side, some similar names, the likes of Boxley, Christian Boxley, Johnny Moggs, not on the main roster, but one of those alternates. And you know, they're looking to prove a point here that if the space opens up, they want to say my name is on the list. It does look like USA will be starting on defense here at the showcase field.
Yep, so we've had the captains tossing already. There is a bit of a breeze here, so that left side end zone will be slightly favourable. That is the, oh no, has the wind changed direction now?
It's definitely going from
yeah,
right to
sorry.
left in the camera looking now, so
my bad.
USA starting on the upwind end zone on defense. Canada coming out on offense, but having to go upwind for the first point. You can see two tall players on the line for USA. Brett Holzmeier had a great game against France, deciding matchups alongside Marcus Brownlee. And with these World Game rosters, you kind of know everyone on the field. The expectation is you are, and you have your matchups decided. You know what they want. Are they a deep threat? Are they a handler? Don't often get to do that World Championships, but so few teams with small rosters. That's something you really hone in on as a coach. You know, Canada bring a stronger roster than I think they brought to the World Games in Birmingham, Alabama. With a point to prove here that they are a competitive team still and a force to be reckoned with in the World Games. And a wayward pass to start things off. Boxley, a little bit of a body roll, that one. Not the start Canada would have wanted. Brownlee with a chance to kick things off with a break. McKenna. USA in blue, Canada in the white and red. And a Thompson, dangerous pass to Trope. And we're loving that matchup. And it's Brittany Dos Santos who comes flying in and gets the D on Trope. And now another wayward pass from Canada, turf from Samar. Dangerous crossfield pass, it's tipped by Conner, and friendly fire from Canada as well.
Yeah, definitely not the start we were expecting, I think, from these two teams. But the wind
that's
is...
Mark Lloyd, I'm sorry, that came flying in to get the block. It looks like he's going to injury sub off. Fantastic defense from the veteran. I think Lloyd is okay, but maybe just a bit shaken up and wants to take a moment to settle himself. There was definitely a big collision on that exceptional defensive play. Tim Sang picks it up for Canada. He was the anchor handler for Canada last time out. And it's with Mika Kurahashi, fresh off a college championships. Looking for Sarah Jacobson. The hook goes up. Trope in pursuit, but a fantastic grab. Unbelievable. Lauren Komura gets the opening goal for Canada. And not the cleanest of holds, but a hold nonetheless, and an upwind hold. They'll be delighted with that one.
Yeah, as you said, definitely not the cleanest point and not what both offenses are looking for, although defensively really, really stifling from both teams, though I do think the wind potentially, it's very swirly on this pitch. We've got a bit of a hill kind of towards the back, so that is going to take even very experienced players like these just a little bit off guard.
Lauren Kimura with a fantastic box out against the incredible Claire Trope, probably the MVP of the last World Games, in my opinion. Part of that USA winning side.
Just a dream to watch, honestly. Without sounding too much like a fangirl.
This is the World Games, we're all out of fangirl a little bit.
Yeah, that's, you know what, that's true, that's true. Embrace the inner fanning.
Such a pleasure to see the best teams in the world going head to head here in London. Looks like Tim Sang will stay out there. Injury subbed on the last point for Mark Lloyd. And it's USA coming out on offense, going upwind. Saw them play against France just moments ago where the field is at 90 degrees. There's a very strong crosswind. So it's kind of a different game. We have that crosswind across the field or the upwind downwind.
I'd take an upwind downwind any day, any
I find
day.
it's easier to gauge as well. An upwind downwind, you know you're throwing on field, it's upwind downwind. It's much easier to execute the hooks, I think. You know what you're trying to do. You're either trying to get touch on a downwind or get a lot of spin on an upwind. Free child, looking to get things going straight away. Liv player, an exceptional game against France. Getting to know Callie Mott very well, unfazed. Here's Henry Ing. Didn't play too much in that first game against France as he was fresh off a plane ride. Holton already close to the end zone. swings across the field and knocking on the doorstep now. Team USA, Holton pins the ears back and tears into the end zone. A nice clean hole from Team USA.
Yeah, that's much more like what we were expecting. Very patient, very calm. You could see Freechild at the beginning there, just really directing his teammates exactly where he wanted them on the field, and then working it through the middle, taking on open options. I mean, I don't want to say it's boring Frisbee, but I do mean boring as in a good way. You know, it's nobody's having to make any crazy plays. It's just taking the open option.
Two holes to kick things off, one from each team. Chastain sitting this one out.
There's a big bag of ice on their ankle, which might be playing a part.
Chastain's been carrying an injury for a little while. I believe they are able to play, but they're playing with some pain, so wisely sitting this one out. Chastain's gonna pick and choose when to take the field. And again, these are just warm-up games.
Yeah, there is a bit of a question this weekend about how much each team is holding back, how vanilla they're playing. You know, will they be calling lines? Will they be bringing out certain offenses, certain defenses, or are we just going to see force flick match the whole time?
Canada get working upwind. Edmonds with the disc. Feel like he might have made the Team USA roster. Had to try it out for them, but electing to play with Canada. A massive decision for the whole division. Mika Karahashi just
Pickled.
sensational this college season. I think Mika Karahashi will go down as one of the best ever college players in North America.
And that's a high bar to clear.
Kenzie stretches across to Edmonds. Has that laser flick to the chest of Malcolm Bryson. Looking for Edmonds again. Going toe to toe with Brownlee. As well to move the mark. There's a continuation throw. McKenzie has time. Bryson in the reset space. Comes rushing in for a 1-yard throw, but it's looked off. Now very little options, high in the stall count, eventually gets it off. Canada going backwards now, but keeping possession. Mishka Bowdry back to McKenzie, quick give and go, looking to attack that break side. Sticky hands from Molly Wedge, looks like collision with Trope. See a stop and play.
Wedge signaling injury. Even though it doesn't look like Trope has also signaled it. They're kind of testing their ankle a bit. We can see the staff running onto the field now to take a look.
See the way she possibly grabs her hamstring there, and
Oh no.
deafening silence comes across the Grasshopper Stadium. Everyone hoping and praying that Trope is all right. An absolute powerhouse for this USA team. Hopefully she's just being cautious and taking a point off. Nobody wants to get injured here.
No.
In these warm-up games. Molly Wedge will keep possession. Coming back to the World Games now with a different set of jerseys on. Represented Great Britain at the last World Games cycle, but now back with her native Canada, but can bring that experience of playing in the UK.
Yeah, perhaps understandably making the switch after GB's performance.
No GB this time round. And now a teasing shot just outside the end zone. Bryson wants Mika Karahashi.
A little bit, yeah. Calling the immediate foul uncontest. Or accept, rather.
Getting to know Cami Groom very well there. Mika Karahashi dropped the shoulder. Bryson has this, gonna look for Karahashi again. And can anyone Grasshopper at the front of the end zone. The new star of Canadian Ultimate. This is her first World Games. I can safely say it won't be her last as long as she tries out again.
Yeah, she's definitely got, I mean, what I love about these World Games teams is you have some real veterans of the scene alongside just upsettingly young people. And it's amazing to see that kind of raw athleticism and energy paired with just pinpoint throws and tactics.
Chastain still sitting on the ground on that far sideline, being nursed by Maddie Zhang and Chastain, and try and keep you updated as we see how Trope gets on.
I mean, they did walk off without too much of a limp, which I'm hoping is a good sign.
But show must go on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's been quite a physical game so far, I think, especially on the female matching side. There's been, because that defense is so tight and on the shoulder, it's sometimes quite hard to avoid contact. I think we're seeing that kind of starting to spill over a little bit all over the field, but then obviously especially in the end zone, working in that smaller space.
We'll see.
Brittany Dos Santos with the pull for Canada. We'll be using the gender prescribed pulling, as is the rules these days. And that is an incredible pull from Dos Santos, pinning USA back in their own end zone. Malks looking unfazed for now. Building momentum as Elton looks for a reset. Getting high in the stalker now. Jamming one up to Liv Player, who doesn't hesitate with the upwind flick. Ing dishes one out to Malks, and a brilliant clean hold yet again. Loving the combination. Liv Player, the real dark horse of this Team USA. It was a sensational game against France. And you know, this is her first time representing Team USA in any division, in any competition, just straight to the top World Games, where she belongs, clearly. Has had a few of those flick hooks already at this tournament. That one landed in the breadbasket of Ing and then dished it to Malk.
I mean, they make it look so easy, these players. I can assure you it is not. It is breezy here, and that is a sideline huck to players who are not that far in the field. Like, you have to be very, very precise, and just absolutely nails it.
Liv Player is going to be playing with Brute Squad this year, usually with Sprocket, but now going to be a rookie for Boston Brute Squad, who've won multiple championships. That's a great addition to that Brute Squad roster.
Never hurts to have.
How was that pull from Brittany Dos Santos? And I think the prescribed gender pulling rule, which I'm going to brag on myself here. I brought that rule in.
Did you
Rift. If I
now?
did, yeah. I was when I was chair of the Athletes Commission. Managed to get that one over the line. One of the few things I wanted to do, and there was a lot of hesitation at the start, but I think it's proved to be a great addition to the mixed division.
I think at this level, it just shouldn't make too much of a difference, frankly.
Yeah, but you can see obviously Dos Santos is a great puller and able to really showcase that in this rule set. And Canada now back with Gagan Chadha, a London legend. If anyone was here at the U23 Championships back in 2015, he became an icon. The claws of Chadha very much back in the hander set these days. Who knows if we'll get to see him attack the deep space as he did all those years ago. Going back 10 years now, since that under-23 World Championships. Oh, and a dangerous throw.
Oh gosh.
And it's followed up by another one, but Canada living a charmed life right now. They continue to march up the field. Chadha, the general of this offense, beautiful around throw. Looking to dish in straight away, but back to Chadha. Good patience here from Canada. Chatha going for that low release flick again. Exceptional throw. He can do it on both sides of the disc. And it's Justin Padnar with the fancy footwork to stay in bounds and get the goal for Team Canada. That was hard work, but they got there in the end.
If I were to issue one criticism, it would be looking off the two open side female matching cuts to the exact same space as Padnar. That aside, lovely offense. Well, ish. There was some... oh no, you know what? It's break side. All right. Still, it does happen sometimes where a handler will look off break side cuts to female matching players and then break the mark for a male matching player. All right, that's
Shade
my...
being thrown by Ali Thomas here in the
Yeah,
booth.
all right, that's my gender equity rant over. It's done. My one per game.
Padnar, one of the Team Canada alternates. So, isn't currently on the plane for China, but trying to make his case that if a spot opened up, definitely one of the stars of the Canadian mixed team back in Australia. Dare I say notorious at times. Certainly had an exceptional stat line, but found himself in his fair share of calls.
I think that might have been a alternate to alternate score there, no?
Alternates turning up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gagan Chada, another one of those players who isn't confirmed on the list, but Mark Lloyd back out on the field and he has tickets booked to China. A legend of the game. Was at the World Games back in Poland, but then missed the cycle. Another brilliant pull.
Took her a bit by surprise there.
Free Child looking to get that world famous give go offense going. The Rafi Hayes, the two Rhino Slam players combining, and this a big old buttery biscuit looking for Helton, and exceptional under the disc, uses her body and dishes it in from her knees. Why not? Kayla Helton, take a bow.
Yeah, height difference, but of course also great body positioning, getting Helton that catch. And then incredibly quick, I mean, not even fully stood up, just able to dish off to Ing. And that is a little bit smoother. It's coming off a little bit easier for Team USA than for Team Canada, who are having to grind a little bit more against that defense. But yeah, USA not afraid to put it up. They know they've got receivers who can take it down. And you can see she goes up so early. And yet, Helton's just there.
Yeah, Kylie Mott maybe possibly jumped higher, but Helton just had the better read, held the position.
Yeah.
Just such a physical presence under the disc, controls the space where the disc is going to land, and I love that from the knees, sees the open player, says I don't need to step up, has that composure. And one of the most experienced players at this tournament. I remember her winning a World Championships back in 2010 with Fury, lost a World Championships to Japanese women in 2012. That kind of sparked the change from club teams representing USA at a national level. And you know what? I think that's a great experience. I'm sure she didn't like losing that particular World Championship, but it keeps you in check a bit, and sometimes you have to lose a competition to really know what it takes to win one.
Yeah.
I think she'll keep everyone in check. Hey, I know we're USA and we're favourites, but we still have to turn up and play.
Yeah, you don't ever want to turn up to a tournament just feeling secure. Like, I think that can be a really dangerous place to be in. Like, knowing you can win is one thing, but feeling that you're going to with no, you need a little bit of fear, I think.
All tied up here in London. Malcolm Bryson, as we see clearing cuts from the sidelines. Bryson has to look for his reset now to McKenzie. That one a little tricky to catch, but no problem for the big Canadian man. And under a lot of pressure here, Team Canada not really getting any joy downfield.
A little bit of a discussion, some kind of call. Unsure exactly where.
Great flash force from Holzmeier. Edmonds doing well to get it upfield, and McKenzie again catching the disc with finesse and grace. An inside shot goes a begging, and USA with a big opportunity now to get this downwind break. Kocher, the George Washington Hippos alum. Now McKenna has Boxley working hard in front of the disc. Gets that beautiful reset continued on. Now with Thompson, has the inside shot and stretched like spandex but can't convert. Looked like that was going to be a goal for USA. Fantastic dumb swing action, but McKenna can't reel it in. Edmonds, Blady upfield throw. Beaudry sells everyone in the stadium and ends up giving a dangerous pass to Edmonds, who keeps his eye on the prize. It looks like there might be a call on the field.
Yeah, that would be that would be very interesting defense from USA. Yeah, pick call being stayed on by Lloyd on the sideline.
Almost a collision downfield between Edmonds and Groom. I think Groom had to pull it out of that one just to avoid the contact.
Yeah, Edmonds has the momentum there.
Yeah, I think in those situations where possibly Edmonds doesn't see Cammy Groom and Cammy sees Edmonds, it's probably her responsibility at that stage to avoid contact. She was sniffing around for a block, but
yeah, I think that's the safe play. I mean, either you're going to get cleaned out, or even if you're, you know, someone a bit larger than Cammy Groom, it's not going to be a pretty outcome. So, good safe play.
The North Americans look confused, looking around for an observer, a referee, but none to be found, so they're going to have to come up with this one on their own. And there is a beautiful shot to the back of the end zone. Canada get the hold yet again. Rachel Cook with her first goal of the game.
I'm wondering if Canada have a different reset option that they're just not wanting to show to the USA yet, because they, again, against the Tokay SuperTeam, they're doing a lot of negative resets and they're losing a lot of yards. Then they're not always having that continuation to kind of then gain those yards back. And I think that is getting them into some slightly sticky situations. So we'll see if that's just a Friday thing for them, or if this is maybe something that they're working on to try and improve this weekend.
It's Canada in the lead at the moment, 4-3, but you feel like it's USA have put on the best defensive pressure, but haven't been able to capitalize on it. So saw that in the USA-France game. France had more break opportunities, but that doesn't matter if you can't convert them.
For sure. Defense wins games, as they say.
Dylan Freechild joking with Malik Oshamar about 4-3 to the bad guys, but as we know, they're both bad guys in this situation, so.
How do you figure?
Well, I feel like Canada, maybe most notorious nation going back through the years in terms of spirit. USA being the perennial champions, no one's cheering for them. But I think Canada have been doing a lot to maybe change that appearance or reputation when it comes to spirit. But I think both teams is joking around. Freechild and Ojay Samar in good spirits here at the London Invite. Mox. Now as we see the zone defense from Canada. Kind of happy to let the USA players swing, gain a few yards here and there, but maybe just trying to slow them down. Finney having to go backwards here, and now around the house. Henry Ng getting involved. Live player almost playing with four handlers here at the moment of USA, at least it feels like that. Gaining yards here and there. Mox. Let's see, not much space in this middle of the zone for Canada, but plenty of yards to be gained on the sideline. Looks like they're staying with it for now as well. Canada maybe seeing them transition, and now a shot to the end zone. Player can't get there, and another dangerous collision.
Yeah, that I've seen a couple of players slip over on this surface already, and I think looked like she tried to stop in time, and oh no, she laid out. Oh God. Okay.
Looks like Liv player is calling injury. I don't know Liv, but I get the impression that she's a tough cookie and it's going to be okay. Not making too much of a fuss about that one.
Even so, why are we bringing a... Okay, got it, yeah.
Player just perhaps a little bit shaken up by that last play. Hopefully she's all good to continue. Marty Gallant, now the break opportunity for Canada. I believe this is the first break opportunity of the game.
Apart from the first point.
Jacobson doesn't hesitate with a feathery flick. That one just drifting too far.
Oh, their first break up. I thought you said the first break opportunity. Okay.
No, that was Canada's first break opportunity of the game, which they went with a killer shot but couldn't come up with it now.
Michael Ing jumping up and down doing star jumps.
Mox. Again, a very conservative zone here from Canada, almost like a box up front of 4 people, forcing the middle. For the first time, USA carved their way through the center. Mox looking relaxed in his jogger pants. Helton in the middle of the field. Now we hear the fire call as Canada transition to a match defense. Again, this quick swinging motion from Team USA, very effective. Colton attacks the center, looking for a shot, and there is the goal. Fantastic from Michael Ing, puts on the jet boosters and gets the hold for USA.
Yeah, masterfully done. That zone slowed them down a bit to start with, taking a lot of lateral passes, but never looking bothered, always looking very calm. And then as the point progressed, getting to work it through the middle more and more, doing those give-goes. We'll see if Canada comes out with it again, but I think towards the end they were really off to the races. Didn't look like they were bothered at all. Lovely little dish. Decisive spike from Ing, who was getting poached off and seemed a little bit unhappy about it earlier on in the point.
And as it's all tied up here, folks, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back with more action in just a moment.
What are they, spaceships from Mars? No, they're Frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
Always on the move? You can keep up to date with ULTI.TV on all of our social media channels. Like, follow, subscribe, share us with a friend, or send us a message just to say hey. Thank you for supporting us in our mission to grow Ultimate everywhere.
Welcome back to this World Games warm-up here in a hot and fiery London. Going tit for tat here as Team Canada going toe-to-toe with
The juggernauts that is the USA, Liam Grant alongside Ali Thomas. Anyone that's impressed you in this first half or any particular moments?
I think Michael Ing's been pretty dominant. I think Team Canada looking a little bit less certain, I would say. I'm not sure how much of that can be attributed to jet lag or heat, or they're just being a dark horse like they were last year, and they're going to come out late on Saturday and Sunday and surprise us.
Yeah, Michael Ing, one of the standouts for USA Open team at the World Championships in Australia. I thought he was the best player in the Open team. He certainly played the best defense, and we didn't see that really in the last World Games cycle. Kind of a ferocious defender or just like raw, pure athleticism is maybe something they lacked last time in Birmingham, Alabama, but they've changed that up with the Ing brothers, both Michael and Henry. Kind of that ferocious defender intensity, and you can see they're grinding to the open side when needed. That's what you kind of come to know from USA teams, is just another level of athleticism, defense, intensity, and that's something that Michael Ing brings in abundance.
Yeah, the whole team defense has been really, really impressive. Just stifling Canada, forcing them to take negative resets. No pass really looks easy for them.
Chata in the middle of the field, and again we see a junky look from Team USA. They like to throw that for at least the first pass or two, minimize any set plays from Canada. There's a deep shot. Holtzmeyer sweeps that one up. Kurahashi had a band of horses chasing her down, and not the right option from Team Canada.
Yeah, that's a women's division throw, sadly. Sometimes mix sucks in that way.
McKenna getting high in the stall count, jams one down the line. Thompson rides the contact. Broom forever free downfield, looking for the reset. Brownlee is there. A nice continuation pass to keep momentum. Thompson attacking the break side at the end, and Cami Groom free on 3 or 4 cuts. I don't think there's anyone ever close to her. Exceptional, magnificent cutting from Cami Groom.
I think McKenna was saying, I actually want you to be even more free. Like, you're free now, but I know you can be freer. Show me what you got. Yeah, just wide open in the end zone there. Oh, the player's back's delightful. I know we couldn't see that, but Cami Groom did some great footwork and got very free.
Yeah, one of the best cutters in North America for the last decade. And you know, I think many people that are picked for the World Games last cycle didn't make it. Cycle before that as well, but showing up here in the end zone for Team USA, enjoying herself out there.
Yeah, big smiles on the sideline. I remember watching Cami Groom when I was at university 12 years ago, and she's as good as ever.
Yeah, I remember her sister was a pro soccer player as well.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, comes from a family of incredible athletes. And the winds kind of die down here at the moment. Johnny Mock seemingly pulling upwind, but doesn't seem as strong as it was at the start of this game. And that was, I believe, the first break of the game.
Yes. USA on top. The other bad guys are now in the lead.
Johnny Mock looking comfortable in those jogging pants. Don't know if he decided to splash out in order to pair Team USA shorts. The DC truck stop man. You can see just from Mock's throw there still is a bit of a wind. That was a upwind pull. Tim Sang goes for the simple reset.
Oh my
Low
God.
to Mark Lloyd, but gathers it up well, and throwing too low here, the Canadians. Free child. Coming out in a horizontal stack. On the turn, USA, lots of fakes coming from Finney, who seems to be paired with Freechild quite a lot. Hayes working hard to get free against Lloyd, but looked off in the end from Freechild. Now some momentum downfield. Finney thinks about the deep shot. Colton is there, a one-on-one battle, and that is a magnificent deep shot to Colton. Races that one down. And you can see there a much better deep shot in comparison from Team USA. Waited till they had the isolated female matching player. And Colton eats that one up.
Yeah, and there's enough zip on that even upwind that nobody's gonna be able to come in and snaffle it. She's got that momentum, just hits it absolutely no hesitation. Seems like a timeout's going to be called.
USA with the second break in the row, leading in this game. We'll be back with more great action coming up.
Yeah, look, all of my friends going crazy. I gotta brag on myself.
What are they, spaceships from Mars? No, they're Frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
Shopping Zillow? Need a trusted resource for your real estate questions? Want to check on loan pre-approval? Reach out to HomeForce, an all-in-one home buying service engineered for ultimate players, fans, and friends. The HomeForce team provides services in real estate, mortgage financing, insurance, and much more. No pressure, no commitment, just trusted advice. Lightspeed, a global venture capital firm, is proud to sponsor Team Blade, where excellence and cohesion take center stage.
Welcome back to the London Invite 2025. We're here at the World Games warm-up as Team USA in the lead against Canada. It's lovely for to be at this fantastic venue, Grasshoppers Rugby Football Club. Usually the British are inviting themselves into your country, but the shoe's on the other foot now, and they've invited us into theirs. That's kind of a nice change, isn't it?
Lots of hospitality going around.
Canada with a mountain to climb already in this game. I believe that might have been half-time. We're playing shortened games here to an hour, I believe. Edmonds has never really been able to find that initiation cut downfield with poaches in the lane. Whoa, and a dangerous pass, rushed. As Bryson wasn't free, Kocher wastes no time, and Brown and Lee to Cammy Groom. Just no hesitation whatsoever from this USA side. Cammy Groom smiling and enjoying themselves. I feel like the heads are dropping for Canada. That throw was never on. Got his hand in the cookie jar there, Kocher.
Yeah, it's a bit relentless from the USA, and I did, you know, when you said they've got a mountain to climb, I thought, well, it's only 2 points, but actually when your opponent is the USA, 2 points is a lot to try and claw back.
Yeah, particularly with these shortened games of just an hour. Not a lot of time to fight back into it. But I think for Canada, he's got to focus on, hey, we're trying to improve for the World Games this summer. Let's make sure we're getting better as a team. take this opportunity as a chance to play against the best team in the world. What more could you want if you're trying to improve yourself? Trope still on the sideline, hoping and praying that she's fit and healthy and just taking a few moments to gather herself. And
yeah, I can see the ice underneath the hamstring there. Definitely not worth it to try and push through on Friendly Friday.
Helton will be pulling for Team USA. Bringing a lot of experience to this USA roster, which is not the youngest roster, I dare say the oldest roster here. Joked with Maddie Sang that I thought it was interesting he brought a Masters team to the World Games, but they're getting the job done.
How do you take that?
I think it was an accurate description.
Yeah, but the same was true last cycle as well.
Jacobson to Auger Somar. Thinks about the hammer. Goes for the safer inside shot to Lauren Kimura. Stoppage in play.
Pick was called in the stack.
A game of footy going on there in the background. Some of the young lads from London.
See, if we had a VO, they'd be following them. Oh no, it's Frisbee. It must be the youth lot.
Yeah. Thankfully, ULTI.TV have yet to be replaced by AI. Let's keep it that way.
Oh, I'm actually part Android. Did I not mention?
I started thinking, actually, now you mention it. Jacobson being forced backhand outside the end zone. It's the soft inside break. Sang back in the handler space. Auger Samar on an island. Eventually gets Kimura and does the give-go dishy pass. Brilliant end zone offense from Auger Samar.
Yeah, Canada's reset's looking a lot cleaner. Partly, I think the USA poaching off them, so that certainly helps. But yeah, that little kind of give-go tiki-taka yielding a goal.
I think particularly with that forced backhand, you really need to attack from the handler space. You're often going to get that early step on your defender. With that backhand release, you can really step into it, and that's what Auger Samar does there. So you see Paddy Mooney fixing his hair and his cap, and has to come up with some strategy now to try and fluster this USA offense. Don't think Canada have gotten a break this game yet, have they?
Don't believe so. Yeah, we've had several from the US of A, but none from TC. I think we still are yet to have half. I think the cap for half time will go in 2 minutes or at 8, whichever one.
Yeah, I've been a little confused about the halftime of this particular warm-up games. I thought they were at 30 minutes without a +1. I'm not sure if we've already had half or not.
I don't believe so, because if we had, we would have had a USA on possession for a point where TC were on possession. Happy to be wrong. Correct us in the chat if we're wrong.
I'm not sure if they're doing the +1 for half. I think they were just taking half when for time.
Where's Stef when you need him?
Just shortened games, kind of warm-up games here at the London Invite, but the intensity and pressure still high. Let's see Canada fighting to get their first break. Boxley roasting Edmonds down the line. Two players that know each other very well. You see USA looking very comfortable on offense when they're going downwind. Marcus Brownlee posts one out into space, and Cammy Gruen's been owning that front corner and comes up with the lefty backhand this time to Thompson, and Cam cool and collected from USA.
I love to see it. The wind picked up quite a lot during that point, and almost every throw, every flick from the US was a really, really high release. Just no danger of any of those throws going into the floor at any point because they release them from such a high point. Love the little lefty.
The lefty dish, and you know, I think Cami Groom maybe wasn't picked for the other World Games teams in the past because she maybe has kind of just a strong downfield presence, but often players are picked for, you know, you have to be able to throw, you have to be able to do everything. But I think Cami is just so good downfield that she should be on the team. She's probably not going to huck that much, she's probably not going to take on the difficult throw, but she's going to get free downfield a lot for you and score goals and do the hard yards downfield, and that's priceless. And I think she's showing her worth here in her first cycle as a full World Games player.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think if you're good enough at something, even if you don't have, you know, a pinpoint flick huck, you need to be on the team. And we spoke a bit too soon. The camera was distracted by the other field. Thankfully not for the whole of the remainder of the game.
Test of character now for the Canadians. Had a tough first game against Tokay SuperTeam. Now going against the favourites to win it all in China.
Oh.
Been informed this is the last point of the game. Teams have agreed, so I believe even if Canada do score this, it will be game over. So playing for pride now, Canada. USA, I'm sure, would love to break to him. Oje Samau with the big buttery biscuit to Mark Lloyd. And they get what I believe is the final score of the game. A quick dish. Give them something to be happy about. Mark Lloyd, you love to see him tearing deep. He still got it. Rafi Hayes caught out on that one.
Gosh, I think both teams are holding a little bit back there.
See this now. Beautiful body backhand for Oje Samar. And Canada score to lose the game.
That's gotta feel bittersweet, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think that's the feeling. I think it's nice even just to score that last point, and know they can score against USA, but I think, you know, they'll be back to the drawing boards of how to get breaks against Team USA. I think that's something they struggled with. France managed to get one. Canada never really looked like getting a break against Team USA, so their offense was decent at times, but they need to find ways to bring the pressure. USA will be happy. We'll hopefully keep you updated on the health of Claire Trope. She is out on the field slapping hands, but you can see her hobbling there in the left center of your screen. Don't know if we'll see her playing at this tournament again. I'm hoping that she'll be fine for China. As I said, I think arguably the most important player for Team USA, but they have a very strong roster top to bottom.
Yeah, it's really a testament that one of their top players that we all kind of are looking out for got injured very early on, and they still were able to pull out a very dominant performance.
Another fantastic game here at the London Invite. Everyone enjoying themselves. Matty Sang, a round of applause for his players. They got the job done. 8-6 in this shortened game. Team USA still undefeated here so far. Canada, a tough start to the day. Smiles all around from the likes of Liv player, Brett Holzmeyer, showing why they are the best of the best. Anyone impress you on either side there, Ali?
It's hard to pick, I think. There are such superstars on both teams, and I would say no, I can't pick a favorite today. I can't. I'll turn it back to you. Who would you like to
Stars
highlight?
all around. That Cami Groom had an exceptional game again.
Yes.
And just in terms of scoring goals and getting yardage. You can see Team USA reflecting on that performance. That's what they're here to do. Get test reps, learn, take notes, and they'll learn from that experience and continue on into the rest of this tournament. We'll wrap it up there, folks. A fantastic game from Team USA. They take the win. Be sure to like and subscribe to ULTI.TV and join our YouTube channel
to get full access to all the live streams over the weekend. We're going to be streaming 3 fields all weekend long. For Ali Thomas, I've been Liam Grant. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Thanks.
Merci beaucoup.
ULTI.TV.